Good evening and welcome to Empower Women Radio with Erica Gordon, where moms everywhere become empowered, feel better, stronger, and confident about who they're intended to be by taking small steps each day toward the life they fully desire and deserve. Erica's a mom expert on a mission to show moms of all ages and stages of motherhood how simple it is to be their number one priority and go after their dreams without sacrificing their family and feeling guilty. A number one best-selling international author, the CEO, founder of Defining Success LLC, an empowerment organization for women, the founder of Moms with Dreams, a support network for moms, and a mom of 4 awesome kids who rock. Erica built her empire and earned her master's degree as a divorced mom working full-time. And now, here's Erica Gordon.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Empower Me Radio. This is your lovely host, Erica Gordon, and I'm so happy that you're here with me tonight. I just want to acknowledge each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here with me. I don't take it lightly. I know that as a busy mom, for me, it's also very difficult to set aside an hour, even sometimes to get 20 minutes. So I just want you to acknowledge yourselves and really, take a moment to say that this is time you've taken for yourself. And I'm really excited to have you here with me tonight. So I have a really special guest for you guys tonight, but before we do that, I'd like to share a few things that I have on my mind. The purpose of Empower Me Radio, the reason why I started this show is because I'm on a mission to empower moms everywhere and really show them and teach them how to walk in their dreams, how to live them fully without feeling guilty. Because so many times as moms, we get caught up in the mom guilt syndrome, and we start to question whether or not we're being selfish when we do things for ourselves, whether it's something small like going to the store and buying yourself a new pair of shoes or a shirt that you saw, or doing something a little bit more daring, like taking a new dance class or traveling or anything. When we make decisions that usually don't surround our children, we tend to question ourselves. Are we being selfish? Is it something I should be doing? Am I taking away from my kids? And we beat ourselves up. But I'm here to empower you, to give you permission, and to allow you to give yourself permission, more importantly, to do those things and to not feel guilty. For me, that was a process. I had to learn that because as a child growing up, I didn't hear that. My mother was a teen mom, and so she was a little fearful of that happening to us. So she would say things like, well, when you grow up, you're like, when you have children, your life is over. When you have children, your dreams don't matter anymore. Whatever it is that you wanted to do is no longer important because you have children and they come first. And so, ironically, she was trying to deter me from being a teen mom, but I actually became a mom at 17. And so when this happened to me, I was kind of like, oh man, mommy said that my life is over now, but I was determined to prove her wrong. I was determined to be more than a statistic, and I was still determined to accomplish my dreams that I had from when I was a little girl. But, at the same time that happened, my life completely changed forever, and, I had to make decisions that were best for my newborn son. So although I had goals and dreams that I wanted to accomplish, they did become second priority to my son. And as a teen mom, I struggled in the beginning, but my determination would not allow me to quit. And as I sit here tonight sharing the story with you, I say this to say, it took me a while to get where I am today, but I'm so grateful that God gave me the strength I needed to get through those early days. And I'm extremely grateful that I'm able to be here with you tonight, hosting this radio show and empowering you and showing you that you too can live your dreams with confidence and that you don't have to feel guilty or feel bad about it. And so that brings me to the next thing that I'd like to share with you all tonight, which is very exciting to me. I'm very, very, very excited. It's my newest project, and it's a dream that I've had for a while. Now, some of you may already know this, and some of you may not if you're new to my show and you haven't met me before. But I'm really proud to announce that last year, actually just in December of 2013, I became a #1 international best-selling author. Very, very excited about that. I, along with 27 other women across the world, we co-authored an amazing book about healing and transformation and really just growing and becoming a better person from experiences that would have taken most people out. But today, I'm here to share with you something that I'm doing, and that's creating my anthology on my own. So I've decided that with my first book, I'm going to use it to support my mission, which is to empower moms everywhere. And so that brings me to my next thing, which is if you're an extraordinary woman and you've ever had a dream to share your story or to inspire another woman or just, share what you've gone through, then I'm really interested in talking with you because I'm looking for extraordinary women who have not allowed motherhood to hold them back from following their dreams. And I'm looking for you to be a part of this project with me because I know that it's going to really impact a lot of people in a positive way. So, if you're interested in that resonates with you in any way, please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach the radio station. You can contact me through boldradiostation.com. You can send me an email if you'd like. That's ericagordon75@gmail.com. And we can talk about it. So now that's out the way, I'm really excited. I want to get into the meat and potatoes of our show tonight. Super excited to have our guest with us. Her name is Shannon Galladay, and she's in Arizona. And Sharon is the founder of Galladay Fit, a health and fitness company that teaches moms how to live a healthy lifestyle. She is a health and fitness coach for moms, and Shannon uses Beachbody workouts and programs to coach her clients both in the United States and in Canada. She's married and has 2 beautiful little girls. Shannon is a former competitive gymnast, dancer, cheerleader, and long-distance runner. She's passionate about helping moms not only lose weight, but feel confident, have energy, and feel excited about life. So, without any further ado, I'm going to bring Shannon on so we can all give her a nice warm welcome. Welcome to our show, Shannon.
Hi, Erica. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm really excited.
Me too. Thank you.
You're welcome. The reason why I'm so excited, Shannon, is because health and fitness is so important. That's one of the things that I teach my moms all the time is to take care of themselves. And at the same time, it's often one of the things that we tend to neglect as moms because we get so busy taking care of everyone else that we forget to take care of ourselves. So I'm sure you can relate to that, right?
Oh, definitely. I see that all the time, and I was in the same position.
Oh, okay. Well, so would you like to share a little bit about that, or how would you like to start? Would you like to tell us about how you were in the same position, or?
Sure. Yes, I'd be happy to share my story. So I was a competitive gymnast, as you mentioned. I was really athletic. I loved dance and cheerleading and running, and I was really in shape growing up. And once I got married, I gained 15 pounds. A lot of people gain weight when they get married, so that was normal. But then I gained 45 pounds when I was pregnant, and so I went from the 130s to 199 pounds the day I had my daughter. And it was really hard for me because I had always been in really great shape, and I didn't know what it was like to have extra weight, and I didn't know how to lose the weight. And I remember thinking, is this just how it's going to be? Now that I have my baby now, I'm a mom. I was 29 when I had my first daughter, and I thought, maybe this is just how it's going to be. And I I went into a little bit of a depression, kind of postpartum depression, and I just kind of lost sight of who I was for a little while. I Before I got married, I got my degree. I got a bachelor's degree in public relations and a minor in business management. I worked in the corporate field. I was a public relations marketing director, and I worked in New York for a summer and worked at different corporations and loved it. And then when I became a mom, just all of my dreams, everything that big dreams that I had, it just kind of went out the window. And so I was this overweight, depressed, not myself. If you look at before and after pictures, it doesn't even look like the same person to me, because I just really lost who I was. And there was a moment when I was holding my baby daughter, and I was looking out the window, and it was sunny outside, but I was just feeling so down inside. And I was looking out the window, wishing that I could get me back, get who I was back, get my body back, and feel good again. And at that moment, I realized, you know what, I can do it. I really can do it. At that point, I was still in the 180 range. I'm 5'4", and so being 180 pounds was a lot for me. And I decided I wanted to be the best wife and mother to my husband and daughter, and I wanted to get myself back. I wanted to get my body back, my confidence back, and so I was determined to go and do that. And so I tried a lot of things on my own because I didn't know what to do to lose weight. I went running on my own. I would run and walk, and I would push my daughter in the stroller, but I wasn't seeing very great results from that. I did that for a while, and it was frustrating to try so hard and not get results. And I was also really trying it on my own. Then I heard about Beachbody programs. My cousin's wife did P90X, which is the most popular, and she lost 80 pounds from that program. So I thought, whatever she did, I want to do that. And that's how I was introduced to Beachbody. So I was able to do that program as well as another one, Insanity, and I was hooked. I was so excited. I ran a half marathon about 11 months after my daughter was born, and I felt amazing. And so that was kind of the beginning. And then I gained weight again after my second daughter was born, but this time I knew exactly what to do, and I was able to plug into a support system and to get all the tools I needed. And so I didn't go through that depression. I was able to overcome it. So that's a little bit about my story.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Shannon.
Sure. Thanks, Erica.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. I mean, just hearing your story is inspiration enough for me to go start working out. But,
awesome.
but I must be honest and say that, I'll start off really well. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do this and that. And I might stay on it for about, 3 weeks, even maybe a month or so. And then something happens and I just kind of get bored with it, or something gets in the way, or I say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, and then I allow something to distract me. So, Shannon, can you share with us, what inspires you to keep going each day?
Sure. Well, at the beginning, when I was just trying it on my own, trying to get back in shape on my own, I was really inspired by my goal. My goal was to run a half marathon. I had run several races before I got pregnant, and so it was really motivating to see that end goal in sight. And that's what I encourage people to do, is to set a big goal for themselves, whether it's going on a trip and looking great, or going to run a race, or an event. It's really easy to not be motivated when you're just going day to day and there's nothing to work towards. So that really helps me.
Okay. All right. And then, but in the meantime, even having a goal, sometimes, we get distracted, or we get really busy with the kids, or, our schedules, or something like that. Do you ever suggest, or do you have your people set up accountability partners or anyone to keep you motivated even through the daily grind? Because I know for me, like, I have big goals, and sometimes I can see those goals, but then, like, I'm like, oh man, if I don't do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. And then I fall into this routine of procrastination and things like that.
Oh, yes, definitely. That's what I specialize in, is helping people stay motivated and get the support they need. So I run support groups through Facebook. And so at first, I never really used Facebook until I started doing this, but it's amazing how motivating it can be. So we put people together in Facebook groups, and we connect you with a buddy. So your buddy might be in another state, but you keep track of each other every day. And then in the Facebook groups, we post motivational things, we post videos. People in the group post videos and tips, and we post lots of motivation to keep people going. So when I was going through my journey, there was an amazing workout buddy. I actually had two amazing workout buddies that really kept me going. And there were several times I had a newborn and a 2-year-old, and so it was really hard sometimes because it was just exhausting. But it would be at 10 o'clock at night, and they would say, "Hey, Shannon, did you do your workout?" And I would say no, and they said, "Okay, let's do it." We would do it right then, put in the DVDs, and they would do it at their house, I would do it at my house, and we would be checking in with each other on Facebook after to make sure we did that. And so it sounds funny because it is online connections, but it really kept me motivated, and it's helped a lot of people stay motivated.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, really, that online now, social media, all that stuff, I mean, that's how we met, right?
Yes, right.
So, but, along the same lines, if you're not on Facebook, could they still, do you think this is something that they could still do if they're not connected to Facebook?
Oh, yes, definitely. I also have emails, so people can get emails sent to them to keep them motivated. I do phone calls. I do a lot over the phone. If they're locally, we do some local workouts to keep people motivated as well. So I really cater to each individual's needs to help them stay motivated the best. I mean, some people I send a daily text to, whatever the person needs to help them keep going.
Awesome. I love it. It sounds like you put a lot into your business, and it sounds like you're really passionate about what you do, and I love that. I truly do.
Thanks, I do. I love it.
You're welcome. So I'd like to ask you, because you sound really busy, how old are your daughters now?
They're 4 and 2.
Okay, so they're pretty young still. How do you balance being a mom of 2 small girls and your personal life, with the family and your business? How do you manage all of that?
That's a great question, and this is something that has come over time. I'm still not perfect at it, but I've gotten a lot of tips and coaching around this because this was something that was the hardest for me. But what I've done is really focused on my priorities. So my priorities are spending time with my daughters and my husband, and then I work my business around the time that I spend with them. When I first started my business, I was working at an office. I was still doing my marketing public relations job, and I was doing a couple of freelance jobs on the side related to public relations, and then I had my daughter. And then I had my business, so I had a lot of things going on at the beginning, but since I've grown my business, I've been able to quit my office job and my freelance jobs and just focus on this, and then I work my business around those times. So we set a date night with my husband and I, and during the day, I really try to focus my time on my kids, so we go to the park almost every day. We do an activity together, and then I do my business early morning, so I wake up really early, around 5 o'clock, get my workout in, get things in. By 9:30 when my husband leaves for work, then that's when I focus on my kids. I take a little break during lunch to do a little bit of work while we have some quiet time for the kids. And then the afternoon, I focus on the kids again, and then after they're in bed at night, I'll do some more work. But I try to balance it around my priorities.
Okay. That's really helpful because I know that we have a lot of moms listening who are kind of still in the transitional period, like they are still working full-time jobs and they have a side business and then they still have children and families to balance, and they struggle with that, trying to create that balance or strike that balance, I should say. And it gets difficult and it gets frustrating. And I know that you said in the beginning you were doing all those things and then you said now you're working your business full time, but do you have any tips or anything you could share to a mom who might be still in that place where you were when you first started?
Sure. One of the best tips I got was to really spend quality time with my kids and my husband. So maybe it wouldn't be as much time that you like to spend with your kids or your husband, but when you are spending time with them, to really be present and to really focus that time and energy on them, to not be distracted by the phone or emails or things going on, but to keep the focus on them. That was a great tip for me. Also, being kind to yourself. It's really easy to look at everything you're doing wrong. This applies to health and fitness as well, but when you're starting a business, it's easy to look at everything you're doing wrong and not focus on what you're doing right. And so that can hinder your progress in your business if you're focusing on what you're doing wrong instead of right. So if you're focusing on what you're doing right and putting positive energy towards that, then that will actually propel your business forward instead of saying, I didn't do this, I did this wrong, I did that wrong. So that's another tip. Also, just making sure to set hours for your business and set hours for your job, set hours for your time with your family. It may be very tight at the beginning, especially if you're working full time, but setting a schedule so that everything happens at a certain time and it doesn't just happen randomly along the day.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I believe that that's one key to success, is having set schedule and sticking to it. And, sometimes when you work at home, you're like, oh, I'll do this later. But then that leads to not getting done and then you're falling behind. And so I know that you have a husband who helps you with with your children and things like that. But do you think that a mom who maybe was a single mom with 2 children or, one child or multiple children, what would you say if they were looking to start a business? Do you think that that's something, what kind of tips or what advice would you give them?
That's a great situation as well. My husband is actually working full-time and going to school full-time, finishing his graduate degree. And so I feel like a single mom a lot of times. But we worked it out so that he leaves a little bit later in the morning so that he can help in the mornings. But I actually hire a babysitter to come, once or twice a week in the evenings so that I can block out time to do that. So I would suggest hiring a babysitter to help you. I've been torn on this because it's hard. You want to spend time with your kids and do your work, but you'll actually get more work done when your kids have someone watching them and they're being entertained than if you're trying to do both. And especially phone calls are really hard when you're trying to be professional and then your kids are around. So I would suggest hiring someone to help you with your children.
That's a great suggestion. I think that's very helpful because I know for me, like when I was first starting my business, my children, they're relatively old enough to keep themselves occupied, but they still seem to want everything. Like as soon as I get on the phone, they have a million questions and they need all these different things. And I'm like, but you didn't want anything while I was not on the phone. So
yeah.
So that makes sense. And I think that's a great tip. So outside of, doing your business, what are some of your other biggest accomplishments that you'd like to share with other women who may be sitting on the fence as far as should they or should they not step into their dreams or wait until later on?
Sure. Well, as far as reaching your dreams, the first part is really deciding, what is your dream? For me, my dreams were a lot different before I got married and had kids. I first planned to open up my own gymnastics and dance studio. I taught gymnastics for 13 years and I loved it. And I imagined opening a big studio and doing that. And then once I had kids, I thought it would be a little harder to do that. I'm sure I could still have done that, but finding a dream that fits with your life and fits with your situation in life as well. So I think that's the first part of it. So this dream that I'm pursuing really does fit with my life because I can do it from home and I can still have my focus on my family and work around it. So that's really important. The other thing is finding a dream that is really fulfilling. I mean, it's great to earn money from whatever you're pursuing, and that's always a bonus. But finding something that you're truly passionate about, that you can wake up every day and you're just so excited to start doing it that day. And that's how I feel about my business. I wanted to give what I went through to someone else. I was so excited that I could get my confidence back, I could feel good again, and be who I was again. I just wanted to bottle that up and give it to other people. And it's been truly amazing to see these transformations in these women. It's been, so rewarding. For example, just to tell you a quick story, this lady, she's from Louisiana. Her name is Jody. And I met her when I first started my business, and she could hardly talk to me on the phone. It was really hard for her to talk to me because she lost all confidence and she was really struggling. And so the conversation was brief. She was really she'd hit rock bottom. She was ready to make a change. Since that point, she's lost 137 pounds, which is incredible. And
wow.
yeah, and it's not even just the weight loss. It's, if you look at her now, like, she smiles so big, she has so much confidence, and she's so happy, and she's a great wife and mother. She's incredible. And so finding a dream, like, to me, that is just so rewarding. Like, stories like that just keep me going every day. Like, I just wake up and I'm so excited. Who else can I help today? But really finding that dream that you want to pursue. So, yeah.
Wow. Wow, you gave me chills with that story, Shannon.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. I mean, when you think about it, that's really what it's all about. Yeah, and you're right. We can all go find some type of something to do to make money, but at the end of the day, if it's not fulfilling, that place in your heart, that your soul is still going to yearn for that thing. And I believe that we are all born with gifts that enable us to do the things that we were put here to do. And it sounds like you really are operating in your gift and your passion, because I can hear when you speak about it. I mean, it's coming from a place of authenticity, and clearly it's the life work that you were chosen to do. And that's amazing. And I believe that also, I feel like a lot of women and people in general are just on that quest to find that thing. Now in today's world, we realize how short life is and how much we need to treasure the days that we have and do things that are meaningful. And I love the fact that you can do something you love and you still have time for your family. And so I hope that, the listeners are getting this from you. They're hearing that it's possible to do something you love, to earn a living, and still be a great mom, because you sound like you're still very much involved with your children. That's very important to you, to spend quality time.
Yes.
And it's just wonderful. It's great. I'm really enjoying our conversation tonight. It's inspiring me to keep doing what I'm doing as well.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So we're about halfway through, and I wanted to make sure that I give you an opportunity first, if you don't mind, Shannon, before we get into the next segment, because we're going to kind of switch gears a little bit. But I'd like for you to, give out some of your information so that if anyone has to go before the show is over, they don't miss that. I'd love for you to share, your website, other ways that listeners can contact you if they're interested in working with you or learning more about what you do, and whatever else you want to share right now, you can do that.
Sure. Thanks so much. So if if you'd like more information, I have a website. It's galladayfit.com. So it's my last name, G as in girl, OLLADAY, fit, FIT.com. And I have a free guide there. It's a 6-page guide on how to lose your baby weight. So whether you had a baby 5 months ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, this free guide is for you. And it also comes with 5 videos that also have some of my best tips in them. So those will automatically be emailed to you. And then I also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/GalladayFit. And I also post daily motivation tips, healthy recipes there as well.
Great. Thank you so much. That's awesome. So again, listeners, Shannon will repeat that for you later on in the show, but I just wanted to make sure that we got it out there in case someone had to leave early. So we're going to kind of switch gears, unless there's anything else you'd like to share about your personal life or your story. Did we get it all, or is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners tonight, Shannon?
No, that's great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So what I'd like to do now is kind of switch gears and offer some helpful tips and guidance for moms and our other listeners who may not be moms too, but for everyone who's hearing us tonight who may have had concerns or struggle in certain areas of health and fitness. For starters, I'd like for you to talk about when you're working with clients, what do you find to be their most challenging areas, or what do you find that you have to really focus on the most with your newer clients?
Sure. 2 areas specifically. First, mindset. A lot of women, especially, are very hard on themselves, and they look at everything that they're doing wrong. So it's easy to say, I ate ice cream, I didn't work out, I didn't do this, but you might have done 10 other good things. And so I really focus on mindset and focusing on what you're doing right instead of wrong. Also nutrition. A lot of people, moms especially, get busy and they feed their kids and they're always on a go, and then they don't eat enough food. And I'm not a really big calorie counter fan, but it is good to do for the first couple of weeks just to kind of see where they're at. But a lot of times when they count where they're at, they're way below their calorie intake. And so if you're below your calorie intake, your body goes into starvation mode, and you can actually gain weight or not lose weight if you're not eating enough. And a lot of women don't realize that. They think that, they're eating low calorie, and so they should be losing. But so we work on both of those things as well as other things, but those are the 2 main things that I would say.
Okay. And that makes sense, because your mindset, the way you think about things is going to either help you achieve or help you fail, because it's all about what you believe and what you think. So that's a great place to start. That's actually where I start with my clients too, because they have to know that they're capable, right? If they don't believe in themselves, then they're not going to achieve it.
Right, definitely.
Yeah, so speaking about eating habits, now do you teach nutrition too, or how do you help your clients achieve better eating habits?
Yes, so I'm not a nutritionist or a dietitian, but Beachbody provides nutrition guides and meal planners. And so I've learned a lot from reading from Beachbody's nutritionists and dietitians. And then I teach those same principles to my clients, and then they also use the program so they can learn about nutrition from those guides. In the support groups that we run, we post daily accountability. So there's different levels of the support group. I run a free Facebook group that anyone can join, no matter if they're using a Beachbody program or not. They can join that. So that's more casual. But if they join one of my challenges, that's where I work with a select group of women, about 10 to 12 per month, and they post what they eat every day. So we focus on eating 5 to 6 times a day, small meals, and I look at what they're eating every day, and I give them feedback on it. Nutrition is a big subject in itself, and so I really focus on picking one thing to focus on per week. And so, whether it's adding a veggie to lunch or drinking more water, specific goals that they focus on one goal at a time, and then they master it, and then they add another goal and add another one until they get better, so they're not too overwhelmed, and they have that accountability daily, so that I'm helping them stay focused.
Oh, wow, that's great. I love that. So in the beginning of the month, or how do they set their goals? It's just like one weekly goal, and at the end of the month they've acquired 4 new things or 4 new skills that they've mastered?
Yes, they pick. So I run the challenges for 30 days, and people can go through the challenge as many times as they want. They start every first Monday of the month, and every week they pick a new goal. And so then by the end of the 4 weeks, they'll have mastered 4 goals. But, some people need to work on a goal longer than a week. So if they're still working on that goal, we'll continue to keep going until they've mastered it. Then we'll add another one. And then we'll start the group over again at the beginning of the next month. So we do that because people get excited starting out, and then towards the middle, end of the month, the excitement slows down. So then we just reopen a new group and add a few new people, kind of mix it up. And I also have a team of coaches that help me. So I'm the leader of, there's about 160 coaches on our team, and so they help me. So I'm not by myself running all these things.
Oh, okay, that's good. So I just have a question. This is for me personally, because I recently discovered that I don't really learn well, like in a group environment. I like to have individual attention when it comes to certain things, especially if it's foreign to me. So what I was going to say is, do you also work with your clients one-on-one too, if they choose to?
Yes, I do. I really cater towards the individual. So especially the first 30 days, as someone's getting started, I give them a lot of personal attention at the beginning. I continue to give them personal attention as they're going along, but especially in that first 30 days to really start solidifying habits. But yes, I do weekly phone calls one-on-one, or daily text, and it's really custom to the individual, whatever the individual needs.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. So, all right, so say I have a question for you. Now, say I'm a busy mom, and I really have no time to cook during the week, but I really would like to make sure that I'm eating healthy. Would you help me create a meal plan or put together some things, or how does that work?
Yes, I work with a lot of really busy moms, so I have a lot of resources to offer to help create meal plans and help create quick meals. I love prepping ahead, so like on the weekends we'll do chopping vegetables, putting them in Ziploc bags, things like that. Like the more prep you can get done on the weekends before the busy week starts, especially like if you work full-time, I help with preparation. So it's the planning, but it's the preparation that goes hand in hand, and I help with that.
Oh, okay, that's very helpful, because I know a lot of times you're right, preparation is the key to success, and I know I'm guilty of not preparing in advance, and then sometimes I'm like, oh man, I wish that I would just gone and planned ahead, and now I would be ahead of the game, and now I'm trying to play catch up. Yeah. So when you're working with moms, do you feel like they have an opportunity to, I guess, let me rephrase that. So do you ever get any objections when you're trying to work with a new client, or they come to you and say, I want you to help me, but then all of a sudden they have different excuses? How do you help them work through those things? Because typically excuses or objections are just questions that they have more or need more information. How do you help moms work through that when they seem to be a little bit unsure about moving forward with you?
Sure. There's a couple of different ways. At first I say, join my free Facebook group and try it out for a little while. Just get to know me and see how I run the different groups. I really encourage people to try out the free groups, especially at first before they start working with me. And then that helps, because then we can build a relationship. I can get to know them a little bit more. They can get to know me a little bit more. And then I do, introduction calls where, I'm not selling anything. I'm just getting to know the individual. So, the more I get to know people and their situation, that really helps people trust me and get to know me better and want to work with me. And instead of, I'm not pushing my packages right up front, I'm building that relationship. So that really helps. Also, going through when a mom tells me her story, to really dig deep into the story, to really understand the core root. If someone tells me they want to lose 20 pounds, it might not just be that they want to lose 20 pounds. It might be a deeper reason. They might need to, they want to get off some medications, or they're struggling with depression, or, something a little deeper than just losing the weight. So really, really finding out that core reason why they want my help. And then once I know that reason, then that's when the turning point usually happens. And then I can usually help them the best.
I like that, because then they get a sense of you being really concerned about their well-being and not just necessarily trying to sell them or get them into a program, which is really important.
Yes, definitely.
So Shannon, I'm just curious. I know that your focus is moms, and that you really have that, they're your core market and things of that nature. But do you work with other types of clients? Yes,
I do. I've worked with some men and some single women as well. So I tend to focus on moms just because I relate the most with moms, because that was my story as well. But I've had several clients come to me and they want to work with me, and they ask, do you have to be a mom to work with you? And of course, they don't have to be a mom, especially women in general. I work with women between the ages of, I would say, early 20s to mid 40s. That's kind of my range. And then, the men, it's really an off chance, but I have had a few men that want to work with me as well. And so I don't just specifically work with moms.
Okay. I just wanted to ask, in case we have some guys listening, or some women who don't have children and they really like what they're hearing, didn't want them to feel excluded from the possibility of working with you.
Oh, sure, no problem.
Yep, so, all right. Well, I have a question for you.
Okay.
If you could tell a woman who's listening tonight, and she's sitting down in her living room saying, wow, this sounds really good, but, Shannon probably had a different situation than I did. She has a husband and she has this, and, she's sitting there doubting or thinking that you had an advantage because of something, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell her to encourage her that she can also do what she loves to do, or she can also find her passion and live out her dreams?
Sure. I would tell her that I have been in your shoes. I have been at the point of not being motivated, not feeling good enough, not feeling the support that I need. I've been there. I've been in your shoes, and it's hard to compare me now with where someone might be starting right now, because it's easy to look at someone who's, reached their goal and gotten to the place they want to be, and it looks like such a huge distance to go from there to there. But I can tell you that it is possible, and I can tell you that my transformation did not happen overnight. There are no quick fixes out there. There's no quick fix in health and fitness or in your business. It takes taking one step at a time. And if you have that inside of you, just even a little bit, that wants to make a change, that wants to feel and look good again, even if you just have a little glimmer in there, then you can pull it out, and you can step by step get back to where you want to be and really fulfill your dreams and be the best you.
That's great. So now you seem to be really sure about what you're doing. But when you were first getting started, did you have any doubts or concerns, or maybe feel like, am I doing this? Is this the right thing for me?
Oh, sure, I did. I had a lot of doubts. I was really excited to start my business. I wanted to help other women, but when I started my business, I still had about 30 more pounds to lose. So I was really scared to talk to people in person because I thought I needed to look like, super in shape, and because I was going to coach other people. I'd already lost about 25 pounds at that point, so I was feeling good, but I still had a ways to go. And so I had I had some hesitation because of that. So I kind of hid behind my computer the first year of my business and just posted things online. But then I've slowly gained my confidence from that. I also had some people, tell me some things as I was starting my business that kind of pulled me back because I was coming from the corporate world. And, it's just totally different than running a business out of your home. I had some feedback from people, and that was hard. It was hard to push past those comments and keep going towards my dream. But that's why I say it's so important to really know what your dream is, because I did get a little sidetracked and pushed away from my dream for about 6 months. And once I really discovered, yes, this is what I want to do, this is my passion, then that's when everything just started moving forward and taking off in the right direction. But so I would tell the person that, is getting maybe some comments or not sure if that's what they're pursuing, I would say, just start walking. And it's kind of like just walking in faith a little bit to really test out the waters and see if that dream is what you really want to do. And once you find out that, yes, that is the dream you want to pursue, it's just like a light switch. It's just like, yes, this is it. This is what I want to do. And then when people or whatever gets in the way, it doesn't stop you because you know clearly what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. That's powerful. I'm glad that you mentioned that because I was just about to ask you. You mentioned that you got feedback from people who were in corporate America, and I was going to ask you, how did you make the transition? Because I know sometimes it's really difficult to decide when you're going to leave your job or if you're ever going to leave your job because there's a lot of fear with the unknown and the unexpected, and it's such a big difference going from having a consistent paycheck to the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So can you talk a little bit about how you made the transition and how did you deal with, I know you said you just kept pushing forward towards your dreams and kind of ignored the naysayers, but what did you how did you really make that transition as far as, taking the step to leave your job and doing your business full time?
Sure. Well, it actually happened sooner than I planned, because my husband wanted to go to graduate school, and so we moved from Utah to Arizona. And when we moved, we both quit our jobs and moved to Arizona. And so it probably happened faster than I would have planned if we continued living in Utah. But doing that, moving, really kind of pushed me to grow my business faster, because my husband struggled with getting his job going for several months. And so it really pushed me to really figure out what I wanted to do and to really focus. And so actually, like I say, for the 6 months, I was trying, because I had other people that were kind of pulling me in different directions. And so I tried out a couple of different types of businesses and just tested the waters in them to see which one I really loved. And I kept coming back to this one, to what I'm doing now. But it really helped me to test out the waters, I guess, to really test it out and to have that opposition of what people were saying to push me into different directions. I don't know if I'm explaining myself very clearly.
No, you're good. I understand you.
So yeah, but yeah, like I say, once I just really knew what I wanted. It was really clear to me that this is the direction I wanted to pursue. And so I just put all of my energy and focus into that and let go, even some of the relationships that were pulling me back, just kind of cut ties with the negativity and let go of those things. And that's what kind of propelled me forward. I was scared because I thought, maybe I need this person in my life, but letting go was actually something that really helped me do better.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, you know what they say, sometimes you outgrow the people in your circle, and you want to make sure that you're staying connected to like-minded people, especially when you're growing, because where you're going, everyone's not going to go with you, and when you get there, you'll find new people that are, that share the same goals that you have. But I'm just curious, being funny here now, do you still talk to any of those people that were doubting you or trying to convince you not to follow your dreams? And what do they say about you now?
One in particular I don't have any contact with, and it's been the best thing for me to let go of that relationship. The other ones that were just saying things off on the sidelines, I haven't heard anything from anyone now. It's funny because when I was starting this journey and when I was starting this business, I had people, really hesitant, like, what are you doing? But now people are coming to me and saying, wow, you're still doing this after 2 years. So what are you doing now? Now they're curious and they're wanting to participate and join in. So it's exciting.
It's funny. It's also a testament to you, and to let you know that you're doing the right thing. You didn't listen to those people. You didn't let them take you off of your path. And that's awesome. And listening to you talk and about your story and your business, I would have never, I knew that you were in business for 2 years, but if you didn't tell me that, I would have thought that you've been in business for at least 10, 15 years.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You just sound really connected to what you're doing and really happy.
Oh, thank you. I really am.
Yeah, and it comes across, too, in everything that you do. So is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience? Because we're just we have a few more minutes to talk.
Sure. Well, I can give a few more tips just for health and fitness tips.
Okay, that would be wonderful.
Okay, sounds good. Well, so first thing is to focus on doing things consistently okay. I really like this concept because a lot of people say they're going on and off the wagon, they say, with health and fitness. But when you focus on doing things consistently okay, you won't let one bad move ruin your whole week. And so, you might miss your workout on Monday, but then you still do your workout on Tuesday, and you still continue to go through the week and do things consistently okay. So the next thing is to find a workout program that you love, to find something that you're so excited to do every day and you just can't wait to do it. When you're doing something that you hate just because you think you should be doing it, like you should go running or you should go to the gym, but you really hate it, don't do it because you'll end up quitting. So find something that you really enjoy and love, and then you can do it consistently.
Okay, Shannon, real quick, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So, with the first tip you were saying, basically, don't get discouraged if you miss a day in your workout. Just start over the next day and kind of move forward and forget about that. Is that what you were saying with the first tip? So that you don't get held back and okay.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Now that's different. I like that because you're right. Sometimes we get caught up in, I didn't do this right, and then we spend so much energy on that when we could just be focusing on moving forward. So
yeah,
I like
definitely. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I find a lot of people, they'll start a program and get into it 3 days and then miss the 4th day and then just think it's all over with. But, when you stop focusing on being perfect and you start focusing on just being okay, that takes a load off. It takes a lot of pressure off.
Mm-hmm. It does, because I can admit to being an overachiever and wanting everything to be perfect. And I just to piggyback off of what you just said, it also can prevent you from starting something. If you're afraid to fail or afraid to make a mistake, it can hold you back from getting started at all.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, I won't talk anymore. You can finish your tips. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Wanted to ask you that question.
No problem. Thank you. I just have a couple more tips. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but really being kind to yourself and focusing, celebrating your successes. So every time you have a success, to really focus your energy on that and celebrate it. You know, tell your friends, tell your spouse, tell your whoever, but really celebrate every success. And because sometimes people say, oh, I didn't do anything right today, and they focus on that. But I say, well, what about this one thing? And we find one thing that they did right, and you'd be surprised that once you find one thing, then the next day you might find two things, and you might grow, and before you know it, you're doing more things right than wrong. So that's a really good tip. And then the last thing is just to realize that there's no quick fixes out there, and that anything worth having takes time and persistence and consistency, and that you just need to continue to move forward with whatever you're pursuing, whether it's your health and fitness or with your business, to never give up and just to continue and to keep going, and then you'll make it. You'll actually reach your dream, and you'll be where you're at.
Awesome. I love that, Shannon. And also, everyone out there listening, if you feel like you need support doing that, it's okay to reach out and get the support that you need. Like Shannon said, grab someone who's on the same page as you and hook up together and become accountability partners. Because I've found that you can get more done when you have someone supporting you as well.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Shannon, before we wrap up, I would love for you to share your website information and your contact information one more time for our listeners.
Sure, thank you. So if you'd like more information, you can visit my website, galladayfit.com. So that's G as in girl, OLLADAYFIT.com. You can get my 6-page guide to lose your baby weight, whether you had a baby 5 months ago, 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. You'll get my free guide. Also, you'll get my 5 free video series that will give you simple tips to help you on your health and fitness goals. And you can also find me on Facebook, facebook.com/GalladayFit, where I give daily tips, recipes, and motivation. And you'll also get information there on how to join my free private Facebook group.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shannon, for being here with us tonight. I really, really do appreciate your time and all of the wonderful information and the tidbits of advice and all of it, and sharing your story. I mean, it takes courage to come on to a radio station and share what you shared with us tonight, and I really do appreciate it, and I want to thank you sincerely for being with us.
Thank you so much, Erica. I really appreciate you inviting me. It's been a pleasure being here.
Yes, we'll have to have you back again so we can freshen our listeners up and make sure they're staying on track with their fitness and health goals.
I'd love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I want to thank all of you tonight for tuning in. It was lovely having you here. I hope that you got something great and you have a takeaway or two from Shannon's interview tonight. And feel free to send us comments. You can contact us at boldradiostation.com. You can reach out to me at facebook.com/Erica Gordon 42. Or you can also send me an email if you'd like to reach out to me there. My website will be up and running soon. It's being updated at the moment. But again, I just wanted to say thank you all for joining us tonight and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Good night.
We look forward to seeing you here in 2 weeks at the same time so you can get your next dose of inspiration and empowerment. In the meantime, connect with Erica on Facebook. She will be sure to respond to any comments or questions. You can also check out her blog at www.IamAMomWithDreams.com. erica.blogspot.com to see what Erica's up to. Don't forget, if you're a busy mom in the southern New Jersey, Philadelphia area, and you want to make 2014 your best year yet, you need to be at the first annual Empower Kids Workshop from on January 25th. Email Erica or connect with her on Facebook for details about this groundbreaking event. Always believe in the magic you can create and the abundance that is just for you.